सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we were just talking that in Orissa this is celebrated as Kumar Purnima, in Bengal Kojagiri Purnima, and rest of North India and Gujarat as Sharad Purnima. But it's a very powerful full moon. Let's start with Sharad, and let me just tell you this information I really have recently come upon it. I did not know much about Kartikeya or Murugan or Kumar Purnima, and I had stopped doing this many decades ago. But somehow I got interested thanks to OSA. They asked me and I did some research, and then it just kept tumbling out, all this information. So I wanted to share with everybody. Kojagiri, because it's they consider it today is the birthday of Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi, and Kartikeya. And for Lakshmi, they say ke jagore, who is awake, Jagran. And for Sharad Purnima, they say that this Purnima is special because all the 16 colors, this full moon is the only one in the year that is resplendent with all 16 colors. Now, I don't know what those colors are, so please don't ask me to elaborate on that one. And then the Kumar Purnima is Kartikeya. And I realize even, what is it called? Karwa Chauth. I don't know much about that coming from Orissa. But one thing struck me, this moon and boon, they, around this time, they also look at the moon and they connect it with a husband. Now, Kumar Purnima, if those who don't know, in Orissa, what they told us is young girls, unmarried girls, look at the moon and pray for a handsome and young and handsome husband like Kumar. And that is the least of Kartikeya's gifts to give. And they made us happy with that. Just ask for a young and handsome husband. He is actually the epitome of strength, valor, courage, action, and most importantly, wisdom. Shiva is the guru of everybody. Adi Guru, he is Shiva's guru. Imagine that. And we were not. And this thing ties in to the concept of, we were led to believe that women cannot chant Gayatri Mantra, women cannot go to Kartikeya temples in the south, because there was this patriarchal society realized that if women got hold of this kind of information, this wisdom, there's no stopping them. They cannot be suppressed. So give them some silly things, a happy husband, what, a young husband, a handsome husband, and let them be happy with that. So they did not allow us this information. But if you think about it, Kanya is, we typically interpret it to mean a virgin girl, unmarried girl. Kanya is not that, because if that is what the rishis meant, they won't call the Pancha Kanya, Ahalya, Tara, Mandodari, Draupadi, and what's the name, Kunti. None of them were Kanyas. They were married more than once, and certainly not virgins. So I thought that how can they call this Kanya? Means only unmarried. All that Kanya means, what the rishis meant, is you come with a clean slate. You don't carry any baggage. This Kanya did not refer to our body. It referred to our state of mind. You come with a clean slate, no emotional baggage. That is the Kanya. Kumari means beautiful desires. Beautiful desire is not just a beautiful husband. There are so many wonderful things to ask for, and then duped us thinking just ask for a husband and get out from here. Just move. What you can, if nothing else, we can ask for Rupam Dehi, Jayam Dehi, Yasho Dehi, and Dvisho Jahi. That also we were not led to believe. But most importantly, and Kumara is the counterpart of Kumar, which is this desire for the ultimate knowledge that Kartikeya gives is ever young. Thousands of years later, people are still searching for this. That's how beautiful it is and how young it is. So there is this Kanya is not an unmarried girl or a virgin girl. It is a virgin mind, state of mind, clean, receptive to new wisdom. And Kumari is beautiful desires. Of all the desires, the Sarvashresth desire is moksha, that infinite, that Amrit, immortality. And and we got confused because they said vara. You ask for a vara. Kanya will ask for a beautiful vara. Vara, and in Odia we say bara, has two meanings. One is husband, the other is a boon. So we got distracted thinking vara is a bara. No, you can ask for anything. But this time of the year, when the whole of nature is going towards Dakshinayan and into hibernation, look at the cluster of festivals starting with Navratri, Kumar Purnima, Diwali. All of these festivals are asking us to remove our ignorance, our avidya, not ask for a husband, silly, stupid desire. Asking so, and that is why it says Kojagiri, Ke Jagore, who is awake? When the whole nature is pulling you down towards ignorance, darkness, and hibernation, we as human beings have to make an effort to rise from that, stay awake, not go down like the rest of the animal world into hibernation. So that is why Ke Jagore, Kumar Purnima. And so what is this vara that we can ask? And of all the varas, the most important vara we should ask at this point of Kartikeya, because he alone can give this, not he alone, all the deities can, but he's preeminently suited because he came out of the third eye of Shiva. That is the intellect, the wisdom. His birth came out of wisdom. And so the permanent immortality, we can ask for immortality, and immortality does not apply to our body, it applies to our understanding. And that, we think that by doing a lot of in the Shastras it is written, no amount of karma, no amount of progeny, and no amount of dhana can give you that immortality. We always want limitless, infinite happiness, but we try to get it through activity by creating, actions, doing things, or by creating or procreating, that is progeny, or creating wealth. That will not give us that infinite wisdom, or that infinite, that ananda, that bliss consciousness. So that is the vara we should be asking Kartikeya, instead of asking him to give us a young and handsome husband. So then they're saying, then we ask, how do we get this immortality? What you have to do is, it is called that you have to retreat, go within. And the Shastras, Kaivalya Upanishad says, Nihita Guhyam. It's in the cave of your intellect. And we just recently went through this Navratri. Same thing, every ritual says that. Shailaputra, have a desire, then Brahmachari, retreat within, Chandraghanta, bring awareness, then Kushmanda, once you bring awareness, you start seeing that glimmer of radiance within, then it is Skandamata. The minute you see that, your rational mind will start, skepticism will set in, you take care of that, and so on and so forth. So this Kartikeya is known for this. He's also known as Shanmukham. That means 6 heads, and we discussed that. Our information source is 5 senses. That's all we have. But we have to have a 6th sense, ESP. That intuition, that inspiration that puts everything together. Because Shiva's third eye is very dry. It's only jnana. Just by doing information and intellect, yes, it is the ultimate answer, but it's not possible. So the Devi came and brought all that together, one body and 6 heads. She gave the 6 little Kartikeyas, gave them a tight hug and made him one. That's why he's called she's called Skandamata. And this intuition along ESP, the 6th sense, along with the 5 sensory perceptions, is what we need to understand that immortality, that Amrita Tattvam we are looking for, that will give us permanent happiness and peace and bliss. And this we can do by going within and by Tyaga. Tyaga is renunciation. Most people freak when they hear the word renunciation. Renunciation is not giving up your body, your family, your food, your clothes, your enjoyment. Renunciation means stop identifying with the body and the mind. Don't think you are the body and you are the mind, and just go inside. And that is why Kartikeya's temples are all on hilltops, mountain tops. He doesn't, because you have to go far away from the material world. Unlike Ganesha, who sits right in the center, Kartikeya goes, he goes to the mountain top, which says that remove yourself from the clutter of material, physical desires for this month, starting from Navratri till about Kartik Purnima. This is a very powerful, auspicious time. Do not fritter it away, dissipate it, asking for silly, stupid things to the goddess or to Kartikeya or to Lakshmi or to anybody for that matter. This 1 month, please dedicate for your spiritual growth. And that's they say that how will you get it? When you tyaga, renounce these silly desires, small desires, you go within, you will find Kartikeya in the, it's called Nihita Guhyam, in the cave of your intellect. And that is why one of the other names for Kartikeya is Guhyam. His knowledge is very secret. Guhyam is secret. And so he is Skanda, he is Kartikeya, he is Kumaran, Murugan. Mu is Mukunda for Vishnu. Ru is for Shiva, Rudra, and Ka is for Brahma. Muruka, Muruga. In Tamil, they call it Ka and Ga, they interchange, is Brahma. So he has all the powers of Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar also. So what he has to give to the world is ultimately the wisdom that is born from combining desires and actions. We either have desires or we do actions. To combine those two and inform it with jnana, with wisdom. And so that is the, if you look at Kartikeya, he has 2 wives, and all these archetypes of deities, they have consorts of wives. Each of them have their own Shaktis to tell you how, if you want to get that, what qualities you need to have. And he has 2 wives. One is called, the first wife is called Devasena, Indra's daughter, and the other one is called Valli. And there are lots of beautiful, fascinating stories. We don't have time to go into that. I will just break it down. Valli is your desire, and Devasena, Indra's daughter, is your action. And Kartikeya signifies jnana. So basically, in this world, if you want to achieve anything, you need 3 Shaktis, 3 energies, 3 powers. You need the Ichha Shakti, the desire. Then you need the Jnana Shakti, which is the wisdom. And you need the Kriya Shakti, which is the action. All 3. And these 2, Kriya and Ichha, Valli and Devaseni, are the consorts of Murugan or Kartikeya. Only Kartikeya knows how to combine Ichha and Kriya with Jnana. Then you can have pretty much anything you want. And that's why that imagery is given. And also, another thing you have to keep in mind, why I'm telling you all this, why Kartikeya is so important, because none of us, I don't think any of you know, I certainly did not know. Kartikeya has 6 faces for a different purpose. All of you have been attending the chakra workshop. We have 7 chakras, and the first 6 chakras let me back up. So there are 3 sets of Kartikeya was given a weapon. It's called veil. It's actually a spear, a rod with a tear-shaped on the top where he uses it. That symbolizes our spinal cord. That rod is our spinal cord, and the tear-shaped thing is the one that goes beyond duality, pierces all 6 chakras and takes you to the Sahasrara. That is the power of Kartikeya. Now let's understand this Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, and Jnana Shakti a little bit, because if you do not understand this, you will not understand the power and the intelligence of Kartikeya. And that is why we pray to the sun, the moon, and Kumar today, Kartikeya. The sun stands for the Kriya Shakti. Kriya is energy of action. Moon is Ichha. This is desire, Ichha Shakti. But the 2 of them cannot take you to the Sahasrara. They can bring you separately to the Vishuddhi and to the Agya. I'll explain that in a bit. Without Kumar, Kartikeya, that Jnana Shakti. So that is why Mars is the planet of, in Greek mythology, they call it the war god. But Kartikeya doesn't only stand for war, he lords over war. So all kinds of dualities, all kinds of injustice, all kinds of unfairness, he takes away. He doesn't fight for the sake of fighting. Your own ignorance, he first of all, he takes away. He conquers your ignorance and he conquers your fear of death. And that is another reason why Kartikeya went to the south. Because if any of you have any understanding of Vastu, south, we don't have south facing houses. Only two deities have the strength to face south, Shiva and Kartikeya, because south stands for death. And he goes to the death. The rishis are trying to tell us that wisdom will help you conquer the fear of death. That Abhinivesha, we talk about in Hanuman Chalisa, one of the kleshas is Abhinivesha. So only Shiva murtis and temples will face south, and Kartikeya, no other deity will face south. So south facing, meaning that he is overcoming the fear of death, and that is what he can give us if we ask him to help us get over any kind of fear. But the worst fear we have is fear of death. Now let's understand this chakra system and talk about nepotism. The Devi is the finest example of nepotism. Okay, she got into this Adi Shakti that created the whole manifest universe from Brahman. She came out of that Brahman, unmanifest universe, created this whole manifest universe, and went and hid inside a kunda. Kunda is a hole, and put her first son there. Ganesha saying, I don't, between me and moksha, you guide. If you do not open the door, nobody can find me. I cannot go back to Shiva. Then if somebody happens to please Ganesha and he opens the door and Devi rises, she puts her sister first in Manipura, Lakshmi, saying that you make sure that they go down and don't come out unless they're really ready. Then again, the Shakti comes to the Anahata. Who's sitting in Anahata? Vishnu puts her, her brother or husband, however you want to see. And then Vishuddhi, she puts another sister, Saraswati there. Finally, if all the being, human being or the Jivatma really wants moksha, she wants to test if you really want it. You come to the Agnya Chakra, that is where Kartikeya is sitting. This door, Kartikeya can open because he came out of Shiva's third eye. And ultimately then you can, with his blessings, you can go to the Sahasrara. So then another thing you need to understand here is these 6 chakras. Sahasrara is the unmanifest universe, this unity consciousness. And we have 3 pathways to that. We have Ida Nadi, Pingala Nadi, and Sushumna. This represents, Ida is the Ichha Shakti, Pingala is the Kriya Shakti, and the Sushumna is the Jnana Shakti. The only way you can reach Sahasrara is to go through that veil of the Kartikeya, through the Jnana. Unless you have that Jnana, you just Ida, which is Ichha, or just Pingala, which is action, cannot take you to Sahasrara. At best, Ida can bring you to this Agnya, which is insightful siddhis. You have occult powers. At best, Pingala can bring you to the Vishuddhi, which is courage to stand up for what you believe in and say what you feel, believe in, and powerful speaker, and not just speaker, to fight for truth and speak the truth. So the Pingala Nadi is our solar energy, action. Sun stands for action. Moon stands for desires, emotion. That is why we first invoke the sun. First or second, it doesn't matter. We have to invoke the sun to get that power, the energy of action in us. We invoke the moon to get the power of Ichha, the best of desires, the best of action. And then we invoke Kumara or Kartikeya or Skanda or Guhyam or Murugan, whatever name you call, to make the Kriya and the Ichha, desire and action, come together in Jnana. And only then you can travel, your energy can travel up the Sushumna Nadi, which is the only Nadi connected to the Sahasrara. So these 2 Nadis, Ida and Pingala, Ichha and Kriya, they intersect, go. If you look at a modern symbol of the medical world, the caduceus, there is a staff, and then two snakes going like this, and then they have the two wings. This is exactly this thing we are talking about. So the first, the solar energy, Pingala, is the masculine energy inside us. Ida energy, which is the lunar, is the feminine energy. So the this Pingala Nadi starts at Mooladhara. 90% of the people's world die in their Mooladhara, struggling to survive. But and then Ida, the Pingala starts from Mooladhara. This, the masculine energy, starts from Mooladhara. If it is not balanced, it will skip the second one and go to Manipura, power. These are masculine energies. If it is not, it will skip Anahata and go to Vishuddhi. Same with Ida, which is the feminine energy, which starts at Swadhisthana. So the next 5 or 6% of the population of the world will die at the Swadhisthana chakra, just looking for pleasures. I like this, I don't like this. I like this, I don't like this. 1% will go to Manipura, like Steve Jobs and some other people who are in, power and the ability to the celebrities to create what they want. That's it. Only people like Dalai Lama can go up to Anahata, what is it called? Unconditional love and forgiveness. And then all these Adi Shankaras and all can go up to Agya and all that stuff. The only way we can go to the Sahasrara is using both these energies. Okay. And we have to learn to do that. This, when the Ida and Pingala are imbalanced, we cannot access our Sushumna. And the way we can do that is, for Ida, when it is Ida is overly emotional. Pingala, masculine energy, is overly ambitious. You have to identify yourself between one of these two is predominant in you at any given point or throughout your life. Are you overly emotional and you give up on everything, let go? Or are you overly ambitious and I am here, I can fix it, I can do it, I deserve it. Everything I deserve, I'm entitled. And the Ida Nadi who are dominant in Ida, emotional person, they feel overwhelmed, need to do everything. And out of fear, not out of wisdom. If I don't do it, karma will happen. If I don't do that, that will happen. So we need to balance these two energies, bring them together. This emotion and action, feminine and masculine. How do we do that? First, you don't have to figure out which personality you are. Are you an over emotional personality or over ambitious personality? That will tell you if you're Pingala dominant or Ida dominant. And whatever you are dominant in, you will do the opposite prana. I won't call it pranayam, I'll call it nadi shodhan. So if you can only act when your Pingala nadi is dominant. Action, actual action. And you can come up with emotion and thoughts and ideas when your Ida Nadi is dominant. So if your Pingala is dominant, your masculine energy is constantly dominant, you have to do the opposite. You have to just breathe through your left. Left stands for the feminine and Ida, right stands for the masculine and Pingala. So if you're so much of fire, because masculine energy is fire energy, that you're burning through your relationships and your opportunities and yourself, your body, then you have to start purifying that by breathing only through your left nostril. Close your right and breathe. If you're overly emotional, anytime you find yourself overly emotional, close your left nostrils, then breathe only through the right. Activate the Pingala, the sun energy. After you do that, then we do Anulom Vilom, which is alternate nostril breathing. That will bring us to the Sushumna Nadi. So if you do a practice, these 30 days until Kartik Purnima, or however many days we have, 9 rounds of what do you call Chandra Bhedi. Chandra Bhedi is you pierce the Chandra Nadi. And then you have the Surya Bhedi. You pierce the Surya Nadi. 9 times this side, 9 times that side, 9 times both sides. Anulom Vilom. If you do that, your chances of balancing Ida, Pingala, feminine energy, masculine energy, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti will be fabulous. And you will have a chance to actually move towards the Sushumna. And why 999? Because we have 9 nakshatras. And those are, bhavas, are emotionals. Let's not go there, but just take 9. 9 is a very powerful number. It's the cosmic number. Of all the numbers, 9 is the one that will get you, more easily accessible, access the cosmic energy. And then the Ida, other times you can explore on your own. I'll just throw it out here for you. Is the first, Ashtanga Yoga. The first 4 steps, limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, which is yamas, niyamas, asana, and pratyahara, are necessary to balance Ida, feminine energy. The last 4 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, which is pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, are necessary to calm down Pingala. So that we can talk later. I just want to, since we talked about yoga, I wanted to bring it to you. But at least do this Chandra Bhedi, Surya Bhedi, and Anulom Vilom when you sit down, either in the best first thing in the morning, if nothing else you can do, and understand that these Nadi Shodhan, the purification, when you do one side, it's not called pranayama. You know why? Because pranayama is a cycle. Prana in, yama, death, out. But this is just, you're cleaning one side. You're overly ambitious, you will clean your left side. You're overly emotional, you clean your right side. Then you do pranayama, in and out, birth and death, birth and death. Everything begins with birth and ends with death. Even the breath we take in, we can't just take it and not release. That is called pranayama. So that's part you have to do. And let me see if there anything else. All of this is so new to me that I still haven't figured out all the things that I want to discuss with you. Do you have any questions? I mean, have I given too much information? Anybody has any questions? So take away these 3 takeaways. Kumar Purnima, what do? We pray to the sun, we pray to the moon, and we pray to Kumara. Sun is our masculine energy, Pingala energy of, this is Kriya Shakti, the energy that allows us to act. Then moon is a feminine energy, Ida, and it is our Ichha Shakti. Without desires, nothing can happen. You cannot get out of bed, let alone ask for a moksha. Behind every action, first there has to be a desire for action. But both in and of itself, if you are just remain in the Ida, you will at best go up to the Agya Chakra and just get some occult powers, and that's that. If you are Pingala dominant, at best you can bring your energy to Vishuddha, which is what? Able to speak your truth. You're not scared to speak your truth, because most people in this world are scared to speak the truth. But if you want to go to the Sahasrara, you have to go through the Sushumna Nadi. Only access to Sahasrara is through Sushumna Nadi, and that is blocked when Ida and Pingala are imbalanced. To balance them, you can do many things, but start with Anulom Vilom, and before that, Chandra Bhedi, pierce the lunar nadi, and Surya Bhedi, pierce the sonal nadi. And then you can get into the Sushumna, which is Anulom Vilom, and you go through the chakras. And remember the chakras, Muladhara, Manipura, Vishuddhi are masculine energies. Swadhisthana, Anahata, Agya are feminine energies. So all I'm trying to tell you is these 2 energies are essential and critical. Sun and moon, lunar and solar energies are critical. So somehow make sure when you pray, ask the sun, when you look at the sun, what do you think? Action, brightness, energy, ask that. When you look at the moon, it's like the mother's energy, healing, nurturance, forgiveness. You get that. Rest and relaxation. This is activity, this is rest, relaxation, and meditation. Both are necessary. And I also wanted to talk about the milk, because in the Purnima, the Ida dominant personalities, or our feminine power, our Ida power, controls all the fluids in the system. In a solar, if you are a Pingala dominant, you have fire, you burn through things. It is good, it can be bad. Ida controls our emotion, controls all the fluids in the body, starting with tears, saliva, vomiting, diarrhea, sexual fluids, whatever you call it. And most of the time when we are imbalanced, when we are over stimulated, over excited, scared, it comes out. When you're too sad, tears come out. When your body is unable to, immune system is unable to function, your saliva and nose drip, and so on and so forth. So when you get milk, which is white, because you are trying to appease the moon, she is the ruler of your Ida Nadi, your feminine power. So you offer her the best, the purest. Her colors are white, silver, and liquid. For sun, it is yellow, gold, and fire. So that's a different thing. This is a Purnima. So the primary thing we are energy we are trying to harness is the moon's energy. So that is why you get milk, which is the purest form of, it is most wholesome. A mother's milk compares to that. And it has, no, that thing that you're offering is not very, what should I say, toxic. So you're asking that by this, please infuse your energy with this liquid, this pure liquid, and you take it in with the hope and the prayer that it cleanses out all the fluids in your body. Your tears, your saliva, your stomach fluids, your sexual fluids, everything gets purified white, virgin, again, Kanya. Meaning back to the drawing board, back to the clean slate, back to pure potential, pure receptivity, your bodily fluid. So that's why they do this white dessert, little bit liquidy, and leave it outside and let the Chandra, infuse that prasad, and you have it. So yeah, that's all I have to say. And I really, I'm very excited with the meditation, which we'll do right now. It'll take about 20 minutes or so. Even if you're tired or you're, anxious, just close your eyes and just listen to it. You don't have to understand. If you fall asleep, do not worry. Subconscious is getting everything. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
Nita, I just have a question.
Sure.
In that group, you said something about Santa Clara University.
Yes, it was not Santa Clara. I'm glad you see. I said in the beginning of this information is very new to me. I mean, as a kid, I used to do some Kumar Purnima, and 35, 40 years ago, I gave it up. I never did it. I didn't believe in this handsome young husband. And so when I started doing research and these things started downloading to me, and everywhere I went, everything I looked for, I got this. I wasn't sure that I was ready to share this, because in the past, whatever I have told you, I have heard from a guru or my father or somebody with a lot of knowledge. This one, I was relying completely on my meditation and what I was reading. And I was not sure that I wanted to share with you without being, sure that this is exactly the right thing. So I sat in meditation a few days, and I kept asking that if this is the right information, in no uncertain terms, please tell me that, yes, I have your blessings to, share this information with the other people. And I was, going on 101, and I took that exit. And I was thinking of those things. How does this sun, moon, Kumar, how do they play together? Why we have to first pray to sun, then moon, then Kumara? And I said, I want to see if that is true. What I'm thinking, I want to see the sun, the moon, and the Mercury together. Show it to me. And I was thinking, what am I even asking the universe, And if you see that picture, the moon is there. The sun is reflected off one of the buildings, and there is a stop sign with the red, light, and Mars is Mangal, which is a red planet. So to me, I got my answer. Obviously, in the 6 o'clock in the evening, if I said, hey, universe, show me sun, moon, and Mars together, then I'm going to be able to show it any other way. I saw that and I said, oh my God, they're a perfect triangle. The moon is there, the sun is there, and this red circle, which signifies Mercury, the red planet. So I got the confidence that I can share this information with all of you. That was the significance. Shall we then move on to the meditation?
Sure.
Okay, it'll take about 20 minutes, I think. And let's make sure all the everybody is muted, so there's no echo or anything.
Yeah, all are muted.
Okay, thank you. So please settle down, relax your body, and calm down your mind. Get into a comfortable position where your back is erect. Think of Kartikeya's spear. Your back, your neck, and your head should be in one position, in a straight line. Take a few deep breaths. Inhale, expand, and exhale, relax. And get into a state of receptivity. Close your eyes and put your attention on the base of your spine. The base of the spine is where your Kundalini Shakti lies dormant, the goddess energy, your highest intelligence. Feel the pelvis. There may be some energy congestion. Put your hand on your pelvis area, just below the navel. This is your center for creativity. Put your hand knowing that you want to dispel any blocks in your ability to create or manifest. Now let's invoke Lord Ganesha's blessings to remove any obstacles on our path of spiritual growth. Remember that the Mother Goddess Adi Shakti has placed Ganesha as a doorkeeper between her and Mukti, or liberation. So we need Lord Ganesha's blessings to start on this journey of liberation. Ganesha governs the tailbone area and below. His energy is down your legs, so feel your legs as you pay attention to his energy guiding you to root out any aches and pains in the hips, knees, ankles, and feet. Congestion of energy at all the lower joints destroy your tendency to get unstuck. Now imagine a reddish orange light of Ganesha and receive the Bij mantra, which will activate the consciousness of Ganesha, moving through your pelvis and down the legs and the feet. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Nirvignam Kuru me Deva. Now put your attention on a thin tube of light that arises at the base of your spine, shooting up, piercing all the chakras on the way up, from the Muladhara chakra at the base, through your Swadhisthana chakra at the pelvis, Manipura at the navel, Anahata at the heart, Vishuddhi at the throat, Agya between the eyes in the center of the brain, to the Sahasrara chakra at the crown of your head and beyond. A ray of light like a searchlight. You are searching for your highest self, connecting to divine beings who can guide you towards that highest self, highest intelligence, highest energy, highest light, highest love, and highest knowledge. We will now activate the chakras starting at the base with the primordial sound of Om. Move up to the Anahata chakra in the middle of your chest. Move up to the throat. Let's clear the Vishuddhi chakra. Karma gets stuck in this center. Move up to the third eye, in the middle of the brain. Float back down to the base of the spine. Connect with the element of earth. Na. Move up to the pelvis, into the navel, and fill it with water. Ma. Move up to the abdomen, fill it with fire. She. Move to the heart and the chest, fill it with air. Prana. Va. Move up to the throat and fill it with space. Akash. Ya. Om Namah Shivaya. Now enter the two eyes and the two brains, left and right brain. Connect with the light. Imagine Lord Shiva appearing in front of you as a column of light. Feel the energy expanding and then entering your aura, the energy field around you. Now, this connection is going to go through an exchange where you release negativity, pain of the body, the mind, and the psyche. Any karma you want to release now, allow it to be magnetized or vacuumed out by this powerful column of light. Om Aim Hreem Shreem Sarvalokaya Adityaya Shiva Sadguru Namaha. Om Neelakantaya Namaha. Then visualize a light beam coming from Lord Shiva's third eye and two eyes. So 3 beams of light enter your third eye and your right and left eye. Feel the connection. Get locked on. Now feel your negativity being removed from all the trillions of cells in your body. Going into this force field where it's going to get dissolved. Receive the light on your third eye in the center of your forehead and the 2 eyes. Om Aim Hreem Shreem Sarvalokaya Adityaya Shiva Sadguru Swaha. Om Neelakantaya Swaha. Now your whole body is lighting up. Keep releasing anything that is blocking your progress. Keep receiving the empowerment in the third eye. In the third eye is the flame of Lord Murugan, Lord Kartikeya, Lord Guhyan. The third eye is your connection to Lord Shiva through the energy of Lord Kartikeya. Pray to Lord Kartikeya, who opens the third eye. Ask Lord Kartikeya to purify your desires, your Ichha Shakti. Purify your actions, your Kriya Shakti. with wisdom. Ask him to give you victory over all your fears, to remove inertia with correct action, and remove greed and ego with wisdom. Visualize the shaft of Lord Murugan's spear as your spine and the head of the spear as the single flame of your third eye, which pierces your brain. Hold on to this image. Om Sam Saravana Bhavaya Namaha. The color associated with Lord Muruga is red. Om Sam Saravana Bhavaya Namaha. Feel the spear of Lord Kartikeya come alive in your backbone and your third eye, shining with the radiance of his light. Feel the fire of the Shakti veil, the spear of Shakti that Ma Parvati gave to Kartikeya. The energy of 1,000 suns to destroy bad karma, fear, disease, deaths, enemies of the body, mind, and intellect. Now the spear gets smaller and smaller and appears like a brilliant spark of light in your third eye, in the middle of your forehead. Murugan Kumaran Guhyam. Murugan, the energy of Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra, Kumaran, ever young, Guhyam, hidden in the cave of your intellect. Feel the third eye vibrating. Murugan Guhyam Kumaran Murugan Kumaran Guhyam. The whole body is filled with blood red light of Lord Murugan. Now visualize a beam of light shooting up from your heart center through the brain and resting 12 inches above your skull at a point where you can connect with Kala Bhairava, the most fiercest form of Lord Shiva, the god of time. If you can connect with this vibration, it can destroy lifetimes of karma in a moment. See this light shooting from your heart into 12 inches above your skull, then merges into the red beam. Experience this flash of lightning from your heart merge with this red beam of light. Bhairava, Kala Bhairava, Adi Anta Parajaya, Bhairava, Kala Bhairava, Adi Anta Parajaya, Jaya Jaya Parajaya, Bhairava, Kala Bhairava, Yuga Yuga Yugantaka, Bhairava, Kala Bhairava, Kala Kala Kalantaka, Bhairava, Kala Bhairava, Adi Anta Parajaya, Jaya Jaya Parajaya, Bhairava, Kala Bhairava. Now allow your attention to float into your heart center. Imagine a blue light in the heart center and receive the sounds of sustenance and preservation and the refuge of all beings, Vishnu. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Now fill your heart with pink light. Allow that light to move up into the third eye and connect with Devi Lakshmi. Shreem, Hreem, Shreem, Mahalakshmi Namaha. The goddess of health, wealth, happiness, prosperity, joy. Put your attention on your nostrils and receive the energy of Mahalakshmi. Om Shreem Mahalakshmi Namaha. Just receive the vibration. Om Shreem Mahalakshmi Namaha. Move to your forehead and recede back into the middle of your brain. Om Shreem Hreem Shreem Mahalakshmi Namaha. Move your attention from your midbrain down to your nostrils. Shreem Mahalakshmi Namaha. Take your attention back to your midbrain. Shreem Mahalakshmi Namaha. Down to the nostrils. Shreem Hreem Shreem Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Shreem Hreem Shreem Kamale Kamalaye Prasiddha Prasiddha Shreem Mahalakshmi Namaha. Ask the Devi to remove any poverty consciousness and bless you with Rupam, Jayam, and Yasho, and remove any craving and aversions from your life, to take away the hunger of desires and greed and ego, and fill you with only the love of our Lord Narayana. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace to the body, peace to the mind, peace to the soul, peace to the environment, and peace to the world. Take your time to relax in this sacred silence for a moment. Take a deep breath in and out. Slowly come back to your conscious awareness. And when you're ready, rub your palms together, cup your eyes, and blink into it.